Off field? Left. What I want?
Get back slow. I love the way she rockin' it. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for it, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's no beginner. She's confident. I love the way she move it.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with the video where we're going to be talking about Mike Florio saying, is there already warning signs about Josh Harris and the Commanders? Basically saying he doesn't think the Washington Commanders job is as attractive as a lot of people think. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight to today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so we greatly appreciate it if you can help me get there as soon as possible. Also subscribe to Juan Gotti TV, as I am a couple of days away on taking on my new journey in real life, and I want to bring you guys along at some point. So check out that page, as we're going to start to get active over there in a couple months from now. Now with all that out the way, let's go ahead and get into today's video, bro. So, Mike Florio, as we know, he is a NBC reporter. He has a show on NBC where he talks about sports, and specifically the NFL. And every time it seems like Mike Florio has something to say about the Commanders, it's never positive. Like, it's never positive. I don't know what he has against the Commanders, but it's like it's never positive. So yesterday, he uploaded a clip on NBC where he basically was talking about Washington and the ownership. He said he doesn't know if it's an attractive destination because in his mind the coach should have more power than what he thinks Josh Harris is going to allow him to have, because as we know, Mr. Harris wants it to be a proper structure. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop rambling. I just gave you guys a little bit of some outline of what you're about to hear, but we're gonna let Mike Florio take over. Leave your own opinion down below in the comment section, and then I'm gonna come back and give my take on what Mr. Mike Florio had to say about the Commanders. So here we go.
Art Rooney won't listen to a damn thing any of his limited partners say if they try to tell him what he should do. He runs that show. And with Josh Harris, Irvin Magic Johnson is a very vocal presence, even though he owns a very small percent of the team. So you talked earlier, Shireen, about how attractive a place is. I don't know it's real attractive to me as a coach if I got to go to a place where I'm answering to this person, that person, then I got this person over here, then I got this person over here. That makes it harder, not easier for me to do. It's more people I got to worry about. Who's on my side? Who's behind me? Who's working against me? We all need to be on the same page. We all need to be rowing the same boat. And the fewer people there are above the coach, the easier it is for the coach to do what he's trying to do. So I think that all this, whether Josh Harris realizes it or not, and he probably doesn't, to me, makes it less attractive, not more attractive.
All right, let me go ahead and jump right in, because this is where the disconnect comes in from a fan and a guy that watches this team every single day and knows about this team every single day, and a guy that just reports on what he sees and or hear. He may take 10 to 15 minutes out of his day to listen about the Commanders when you got a person like me that lives, breathes, and sleeps this. All right? So he talked about he doesn't know if it's an attractive destination, or in fact, he doesn't think it's an attractive destination because of the hoops that a head coach will have to go through. He would have to report to a president, or he would have to report to a general manager. He would have to report to, we want to create this structure in the front office that has the player of personnel and stuff like that. He feels that the Washington Commanders structure needs to be what it just was under Ron Rivera, a coach-centric approach. Hey, Mr. Mike Florio, if you paid attention to the Washington Commanders, you would have known that's how this team has been ran over the last 4 years. And let me check to you, Mr. Mike Florio, how had that turned out for the Washington Commanders? Last time I checked, the Washington Commanders are coming off of one of the worst seasons in franchise history. Last time I checked, the Washington Commanders haven't made it to the playoffs since 2020, and we all know that that was a fluke year. Last time I checked, Ron Rivera, being the coach-centric approach that it was, had all of the say. He had all the say. He was basically the general manager. He called the shots. He was the one, unlike how it's about to be now, where the general manager is the one that hires the head coach and he's the one that has the final say and makes the decision. It was Ron Rivera. Martin Mayhew wanted to trade back this past draft. or trade up rather. Ron Rivera said no. So you wanted to be like that, but not knowing that's what it was, and we have no success under that. Again, this is where, again, the disconnect and the frustration comes from a lot of people that are in those positions, because they don't pay attention. They don't follow the team close. They just listen for like 5 minutes and think they know what they're talking about. But let's go ahead and continue to listen. It's another person on this panel too. It's a woman. I don't know her name. We're gonna listen to hear what she has to say. So listen back in right now.
Well, and that's certainly a question to ask in the interview process, Mike, is who am I answering to, and how many layers are there here? You know, am I going to be hearing from all these people throughout my tenure here? So, yeah, all those are questions to be asked. But you're right. You don't want to have that many people involved if you're a head coach. Josh Harris, I was interested because he owns two other teams, Mike. He owns the Philadelphia 76ers. He owns the New Jersey Devils. He's done this a lot, which tells me he's not really that good at it. He's hired 4 GMs and 3 coaches with the 76ers and 3 full-time coaches with the Devils. So he's done it over and over and over again. Maybe he finally gets it right with the Commanders. Maybe that's why he's asking for help, because he hasn't gotten right with his other teams, but he hasn't built consistent winners with those other teams. So I don't know how this is going to work out. He's certainly thinking outside the box of what NFL teams do. The Browns tried this with the chief strategy officer and all that, and hasn't worked out that great for them. But if it does, I think other teams probably look at this model. If it doesn't, they say, yeah, a new guy coming in. And other owners like when an owner doesn't consistently put a good team on the field. They like Dan Snyder in there because they knew they'd always beat Washington. So if this doesn't work out for Josh Harris, the other owners will be perfectly fine with this.
All right, sorry about that, y'all. I had some issues with trying to get the mic going. So she's saying that Josh Harris has tried to do this 3 other times and it has not been successful. Do you not watch basketball? Are the 76ers not a constant playoff contender? Are they not a constant NBA Finals predictor at the start of the season? Contender, I should say. Are they not constantly having MVP talks with Joel Embiid? And I can't really speak on the New Jersey Devils because I don't watch much hockey. But just because, let's say, 1 out of your 3 ownership teams fail, that doesn't mean that you're not good at what you do. He turned the 76ers around to a constant playoff contender. Yeah, it may have taken a while, but look at what they're doing. They're 23-12, and they're always in the playoffs, and they're always fighting for, a finals appearance. Now, obviously, it hasn't been able to work, hasn't cashed in, but at some point, it's going to. So I really don't understand her point where she's trying to make, where she's saying that he hasn't been successful, and maybe it'll be different here in Washington. I think both of these people, they want all control for the next person, and I don't think they understand that isn't how it worked here in Washington, right? That's not how it worked in New England, right? New England, Bill Belichick had all the control, but you look and see how it turned out once he got rid of Tom Brady, or Tom Brady left. It hasn't been the same. So he wants a guy like Bill Belichick, a guy like somebody that's gonna come in here and command all the control. Nah, cuz that's not how this happens anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we mentioned David Tepper. One of the main regrets for other owners at this point is that they regret they're not in the same division as Tepper's Carolina Panthers, because that's a team at this point, you just assume you're going to get 2 wins a year and they're going to continue to spin their wheels in the mud. So this is all, like you said, something's going to have to be figured out by the coach through the interview process, and it also comes down to the specific language of the contract. What are my powers? Who do I answer to? Who can I tell, sit down and shut up? What are you doing here? Why are you in my locker room? Why are you on my sideline? And still, even beyond the 4 corners of the contract, there's a broader cultural reality that you have to deal with. It doesn't matter what your contract says. When you show up for work and these people are hanging around and you know they're tight with the boss and the boss is the one who ultimately decides whether or not you're going to stay, yeah, you'll get a buyout, but you still can't work there. So I just think that there are warning signs. And I know Commanders fans right now are just happy to not have Dan Snyder.
Yeah.
But as I said at the time this deal was done, there's no guarantee you're going to have a better team. You just have a different owner who doesn't embarrass you. That's what you have. So Josh Harris could be David Tepper with a more pleasing personality and he doesn't throw a drink on someone. That may be, at the end of the day, we don't know. But
all right, so that to me is a tough listen, because again, these people are so out of touch with what's going on that it makes it hard on the ears. And he says Josh Harris is hiring two to three new coaches, a new coach every 2 to 3 years. There are a couple of teams in both the NBA and the NFL that have coaches there for longer than 3 to 5 years. If you're not Mike Tomlin, if you're not Bill Belichick, who's now about to leave at some point potentially, if you're not Andy Reid, you're not one of these guys, Pete Carroll, if you're not Eric Spoelstra, if you're not Greg Popovich, you're going to shuffle at some point. So that's another point where he's just way off, in my opinion. Rick Spielman and Bob Myers were excellent hires, in my opinion, because it allows us to have a correct structure. And they're not even long-term guys. They're just here to help out Josh Harris. And I would rather have a coach, a owner. And this is probably my biggest point. I would rather have an owner that understands that he's not the smartest person when it comes to trying to structure things, right? He's not the brightest person. It's not to say that he doesn't know, but I would rather have a person that understands he can't do it all by himself than have a guy like Dan Snyder that thinks he knows it all, goes and reaches on guys like Dwayne Haskins, right? You don't want that. So I like where we're at it. And he mentioned that you can't really tell; it's too early to tell. So how can you come up with that determination prior to you making that statement if you don't think it's too early to judge him? But then you're already saying it's an unattractive destination. So you already kind of came up with your opinion on this whole situation. I just wanted to bring it to you guys' doorstep to let you guys hear if you didn't check it out. I gave my opinion. Now I'm eager to hear yours down below. Do you feel like this is an unattractive destination because of what Josh Harris is planning on doing with this team? Or do you think Mike Florio and company are reaching on this one? As always, me and boy Juan Gotti, there you have it. Like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington Commanders. We want to roll to 7,000 subscribers, so we greatly appreciate it if you can help me get there as soon as possible. And again, sorry for all the pauses in and out. That's me unmuting the mic so you guys can hear hear me, and muting the mic so you guys can hear the audio without any corruption. So bear with me throughout this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Y'all have a blessed one. See y'all later. Peace.